The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. I used to be the biggest bitch back in the day. Getting offended and insecure in conversations had become a daily routine for me. My heart would used to sink and I would become a timid pulp, all because somebody didn't laugh at my joke or look away while I was speaking with them. With each mental attack, my empathy for others decreased, while my narcissism only grew stronger. You wouldn't think that an insecure little kid like me would have any narcissism in him, but it was actually just that self-absorbedness that led me down into this depressive dark pit. As you saw in the title of this video, I believe that ChatGPT has more empathy than most people, including you and also the old version of myself. Most people won't agree with this statement, but I believe that over 90% of our population has worse empathy than AI. We have people today literally turning to AI rather than speaking with humans because they feel like they have a better connection with them. For example, KSI said on a podcast with Logan Paul and Mr. Beast that he sometimes likes to talk to his AI friends since they don't make fun of him. To understand this strange and dystopian world that we are living in right now, we need to analyze how AI actually works, or as you saw in the title of this video, how ChatGPT is more empathic than us. When you ask ChatGPT a question, does it get insecure or deliver your answer with anxiety? Of course not. Chat is an AI that's designed to search the web to give you the best answer for your question. And does it get offended or think it has done a bad job just because you rephrased your original prompt? No, it doesn't. It simply listens and tries to understand you, and then it spits out an answer. This basic human skill of just listening and understanding without jumping to any hasty conclusions or judging somebody else is a skill I fear many of us has lost. And with both you and I being pulled towards this new self-improvement and self-love movement, we have created this false perception that the world revolves around us. We believe that everything somebody says has to correlate with us in some way or another. But it is just because of that flawed mindset that people would speak to AI rather than real humans. I am not perfect, but compared to my old self, I am socially unrecognizable. And I thought that instead of letting you go through every single epiphany I had to learn over the, 4 years that I've done this, I thought I would, inside of this video, teach you everything that I know about empathy. The first thing I realized was that I needed to become less serious and stop taking things personally. There is a Chinese metaphor that was used back in the days of war, where they said that a Chinese warrior usually gets hit by 2 arrows, one being the physical arrow that was shot and hit the warrior, and the other being the psychological pain that came with the first. The world is not what's actually happening around you. Your world is just your perception of the events, which in turn sculptures your reality. If you have a negative thought of something that somebody else said, that negative thought will circle around in your brain and you will feel like you're under attack, which will make you stream out some negative energy into the world, which in turn will make people bored of talking with you because it's no fun talking with a negative person. And the problem is that when you get offended, you may get insecure and you will have these negative thoughts. And with negativity, there comes angst. And when the brain is feeling like it's under attack, like something is like right now attacking us, then your brain will actually get into kind of like a fight or flight mode. And it will affect your physical body too, your exterior. And it will lead to you having closed body language, or maybe not being able to keep eye contact because you feel like you're under attack. And this is a huge problem since body language is like 50% of communications between humans. Did you know that communication between humans is mostly just non-verbal? And if your non-verbal communication, if your body is completely closed off, then of course you will become a worse communicator and therefore a less empathic person. And the same with eye contact. Eye contact actually releases, especially if you have deep eye contact, it releases a hormone called PEA, which is the same hormone people feel during love at first sight. So basically, just by having an open body language and looking into people's eyes, by not being anxious and insecure, people will like you more, and you will therefore automatically become more empathic. Another thing that I needed to realize was that everyone is going through their own problems. I know that it may feel like you're the only one suffering, and it almost feels like everybody else got it figured out. But that's not the case at all. You can't read other people's thoughts. You can only perceive what you see from their face or body or what they say. Imagine how somebody else would view you when you get offended by something they have said. In their eyes, you may just look mean because you don't want to look in their eyes, or you may seem uninterested in the conversation because they can't actually feel your angst. They don't know what is happening inside of your body. They can only make a small calculation based on how your face and body looks. And if you really think about it, since we are all human, just think for yourself, when you speak to somebody, do you actually want to be mean to them? Has there ever been a time where somebody hasn't done anything to you and you have just spoken to them for the sake of being mean or hurting their feelings in some way or another? Probably not. And the same thing goes for them. Nobody actually wants to be mean when they talk to you. If you somehow feel that they have done something that was not nice to you in our conversation, it's probably on them and not on you. Sometimes it is on you, but most of the time it's actually not. And also, like, if somebody is being mean to you objectively, because that happens, if somebody is objectively mean to you for no apparent reason, just realize that they're most likely just projecting their own shadow onto you. And what I mean by shadow is that we all have sides of ourselves that we try to hide. Things we don't want the world to see. For example, I'm a pretty fucking short guy at like 171 centimeters. Now, I'm not the most insecure about that, but let's say I was. If I was talking to somebody who's like just a centimeter shorter than me, let's say I spoke to someone that was 170 centimeters, if I point out how short they are and how they won't get any girls or they won't do anything special in life because they're so short, that's just me projecting my own insecurities to somebody else. So have that in mind. If somebody is being mean to you, it's probably because something is going on inside of them and not because of you. Now that you understand that people are battling their own demons and that everybody is just human, I want you to, the next time you're in a conversation, just throw yourself out of the equation. When you speak to somebody, don't think about how they make you feel or the fact that they have offended you. Instead, try to look for patterns, try to listen and understand them. And you may figure out why they act the way they do. You may realize that the reason this person seems so angry when they speak to you is because they have shit going on at home, which makes them sad. Don't get stuck with disinterest with somebody in a conversation. Try to look for the broader picture, because if you get stuck with a single leaf, you will miss the whole tree. But if you get stuck with just one tree, you will miss the whole forest. So don't get stuck with a singular comment someone has said to you, because you may miss how the whole conversation went. But don't get stuck with just this one conversation you had with this person, because you may miss how their character acts as a whole. Once you master your emotions and realize who you truly are, other people's opinions about you will become irrelevant. Just look at Luffy from One Piece. He's stupid as hell, and he's constantly criticized by his bold and what seems like almost impossible goal to like 99% of the population of the One Piece world. Yet he climbs the ranks and shouts out to the world that he's gonna become king of the pirates just because he has such a strong sense of character. He knows who he is and he knows what he wants, and he doesn't care what anybody else says. And I want you to do the same. I want you to figure out who you are. You can meditate on it, journal, do your thing. Just realize who you are. And once you have done that, I want you to almost act like a tree. Let people's thoughts and opinions be like the wind blowing through your leaves. But even if they do that, you still stand firm, just like a tree doesn't fall with a single wind. You shouldn't buckle up and get offended and think less of yourself just because somebody else has said that. Instead, you need... And this also works great for your thoughts too, by the way, because what anybody else says, it doesn't matter unless you do a big deal out of it in your head. So what I want you to do is act like a tree. Be still, don't make any haste decisions, and let your own negative beliefs and others' opinions about you blow through you like the wind, not changing how you stand. The last epiphany that I had was to not seek revenge. There are times when people are mean just because they want to be mean. They're jackasses. And as I said before, it's probably because they are not well in the head. There's something in their life that has shaped them in the way they are. But sometimes you just can't do anything about it. You will get offended. You will get angry. And you will want to do something back to almost satisfy yourself. But trust me when I say that you will get nothing, and I mean nothing, out of revenge. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind, and it will also make you less empathic. So what I want you to do instead, if somebody has hurt you in one way or the other, is to forgive them. And when I say forgive them, it's not because you're weak and they deserve forgiveness, because they truly don't. They don't deserve your kindness. But you aren't forgiving because you want to be nice to them, but because you want peace within yourself. Forgiving somebody else just cleanses the hate within you. Holding on to hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So forgive others and you will find peace within yourself. I hope this helps you become more empathic. Yeah. Bye bye.